So today we are going to talk about the Fiber and Textile Station and what you need to know for your project, all right? Now, first things first is that not everything is out for you at the moment, all right? The string is out for you, and you can use different kinds of strings for this project, which is absolutely fine. The stuffing, if you're creating something that's more 3D, is out, okay? The different fabrics that you need are out as well. One thing that you're not going to find here, when you do start, you will be putting together a sewing bag, right, is you're not going to find the actual needle here. You will have to actually come and get a needle from me, and what I'll do is I will give you a needle, all right? Now, so first thing what you're going to do is you're going to come and you're going to get your supplies, all right? The supplies that you'll need is one of these bags. Now, this is a sewing bag. It's just a plastic bag, all right? There's no real magic to it other than it's a plastic bag. You'll notice that there's probably a name on it. That's probably someone who might be in your same grade. It might be in someone before, but I reuse these bags, right? So what you'll do is you'll just take a piece of, masking tape. You can get one from the drawer over here, or it'll be up on the top, all right? Put it over and put your name on it, all right? In here, all right, you may grab a couple of strings, right? When you come and get string, you are only going to need a width, okay? I say it's an arm's length, but honestly, you can use like this length of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to unravel your string, and you can get a couple of these, absolutely fine, and just kind of measure out the width of the station, all right? This. Now, the reason why I'm saying only this width is because when you go and sew, a lot of times what happens is, right, as you're sewing, if you have something longer than your arm's length, I've found many times that what happens is you get knots, all right? And you don't want to be here like trying to pull all the string out, and you're just gonna end up with knots. So it's easier if you just get the length that you need, okay? And if you need more, you come to get more. But honestly, if you're gonna use like black, that's all you're gonna use. Maybe cut maybe like 2, 3 of these, store them in your sewing bag so you always have some thread with you, okay? Now for the practice, you can do one of two things. There may be a couple of pre-cut pieces in here that you can use, or if you go into the scraps, right, you can get a small piece, something possibly like this, loose, all right? Now this is a pretty big piece. You could just trim it down to what you need. All right. So maybe if I kind of cut this, I could probably use this as my test because I'm just going to be doing a couple of different stitches on here, which is fine. All right. Now the plastic bag is plastic, all right? You need to be careful that you know where your needle is at all times. So when you get the needle, you don't want it to poke through, all right? So a safe thing to do, all right? When you have your needle, when you finally thread it and you understand how to do that, okay, is what you'll do is you'll do what's called pinning, all right? I'm going to show you real quick what it looks like to pin a needle. All right, so have the needles. Sorry, let me move back and forth. Now these needles are pretty thick, okay? See how, oh, where am I? There we are. Sorry, camera. Okay, they're really thick. So when you are not actually sewing or you walk away, don't put this down on the table. Let me tell you, so many times have I heard, I just have my needle, I don't know where it is, right? Take it, push in, pull out, just like this. This is called pinning, all right? There you go, see? I just pinned it in. I didn't sew it through, I just pinned it in, all right? So I can pull it straight out, all right? Another thing that you will learn later on, and something that I want you to kind of like really understand, all right, is when you are threading the needle, all right, let me pull this out, you are going to have a double knot on one end, okay, so that's one end, I'm going to put it down, and the other side is going to get tied once, so it'll look like this, all right, so here's my needle, tied once, all right, see? I tied it once. That's it. I didn't double knot it. I just looped it around, and it's tied on there, okay? It's not a knot. The other side will have a double knot, okay? So this is your length of string, all right? And if you are not using it, you're pinning it into fabric. Now, just by pinning this and putting it in here, it should not fall out, all right? You should be pretty safe to keep your actual sewing project and everything in your bag, all right? Okay, so other things that we've got going on over here, all right? So the string, I want you to make sure, now this can get kind of like really messy really quickly because there's a lot of little pieces. I want you to try your best, okay? I understand that sometimes it might not be perfect, like right here, we got a few strings out, that's fine, but if you could be kind and like just kind of clean it up as you go along, that'd be great. There are a couple of different colors in here, not many, but there is enough that you can use for your projects, all right? Back here, these are a little bit different, all right? For example, this one, sometimes they're all one color, and if that's the case, you take this whole thing and you can use it, all right? But if you only need a little bit, I'd like you kind of like twist it back together so it's all in one spot. Do not just kind of like crumple it up and throw it in. I want you to actually make it look like it's, you know, nice and neat and organized in here, okay? I put this string back in. All right, so fluff. Here's the thing. There is plenty, string, shouldn't be in there, okay? There is a lot in here, and a little goes a long way. If you're deciding to make a project that is stuffed, okay, please make sure, one, you don't want to stuff it until the very end, okay? So after you've sewn everything on the front, you sew everything that you need on the back, and you put them together, okay, and then you sew them together, leave about an inch opening, okay? Then you can stuff it in. Now, do not overstuff. That pretty much means that I see some stuff kind of poking out. You want it to look like you don't see any stuffing at all, okay? And this is not a project where you're making a huge pillow, all right? I don't have that much stuffing. So we're making, you know, things that are kind of on the small size. You're like, okay, what kind of size is that? Right here is called a size check, all right? You're creating a project that can fit in here. If it cannot fit here and close, you cannot make it, okay? All right, size check. I would check this each time, all right? Get into that. The fabric, okay? There are two buckets here. One has scraps in it, and another one has full sheets, okay? I expect, I'm gonna even go one more beyond that. I demand that these stay organized, okay? It is hard to find what you need if things are all out of order. Scraps, okay? Let me go over scraps. All right, so scraps. Couple of things about this bin. One, this is not a space to keep extra string. That does not go in there. Cotton, okay, the fluff, it does not belong in here, all right? Now, for the most part, they are small pieces that you did not use, okay? I do not want to see whole sheets where very little is cut out, okay, and thrown in here. If you're going to use a whole sheet, you use a whole sheet. You don't use little bits. But if you have, like, for example, that's all you need was that little teeny heart, come in here, look through this first, okay? I would suggest, you know, any kind of small little piece, whether it's, you know, an arm, maybe a heart, a pocket, okay? Look through this first, all right? So these are the scraps. If you are going through and you're cutting stuff, all right, I would, if it's anything small, like, let's see, this, I don't need this, honestly, just throw it away, okay? All right, now, onto the large pieces. All right, so this bin has to stay organized at all times, okay? You can take them out and yes, look through them, that's fine. I will add different colors and different fabrics in here, you know, each marking period, but I won't know what I need to add if it's a mess. You can see everything is organized. There's a long and two short sides, okay? For the most part, they're pretty big rectangles, okay? There's all different kinds in here. There is felt, there's, let's see, there are, you know, fuzzy ones. There's regular fabric, okay? There is, as I said, felt. A couple little tidbits about these fabrics, okay? One, tough to sew through, okay? If you cannot, take the needle, push the needle through. Maybe take it and, you know, kind of push against the actual table to get you through, all right? Felt, okay? Felt is kind of tough to cut through, okay? Just let me grab a piece of felt, okay? So when you're cutting through felt, do not be wimpy. Please never be wimpy, okay? Wimpy is like cutting at the edge. Do you see this? I'm like the last little things. No, open your scissors. This edge right here, right there, okay? I want you to do little snips, okay? So you can kind of see, here we go. Little snips at the top will make it cut really easy. I would suggest if you're making two-sided objects, you might want to cut them out at the same time, okay? So if I took pretend this is large, if I fold it in half, okay, you can cut two at the same time, okay? Now, if you're a left-handed person, these are not left-handed, okay? The ones that have the weird little squiggles on them, those are left-handed, okay? You will find it difficult to do this if you're left-handed, not using the right ones, okay? Once again, back corner, little snips at a time, you will be able to cut, okay? A lot of people are going to complain, oh, it's not working, they're not sharp enough. No, they're sharp enough, okay? All right, so that's that. I'm trying to think of anything else that you may need to know. Some of the fabrics look a little deceiving, okay? So for example, there's yellow fabric that is really tough and hard to sew through. As I said, press it on the actual table, okay? Real quick, your needle. I will not give you another one. This is the one that comes back to me, okay? It needs to be returned. This is part of your project grade, is to return this needle. I'm giving you, all respect that you can handle it, that you can, watch this on your own, but it must come back. Also, this does not leave the room, okay? If you need to bring your project home, that's great, okay? You can do that, but this does not leave my room, okay? I do not have a lot, and I want to keep all the ones I have here, so I will put this into babysitting, okay? I will, free of charge, watch your needle, okay? And then what you'll do is you'll have to use maybe a needle at home. I'm sure mom, grandma, dad, grandpa, somebody has got to have a needle, okay? And for the most part, a lot of needle sets come with a little bit larger one, okay? All right, let's see. Anything else that you need to know? Drawing on this, okay? Because I know a lot of people are going to want to draw their ideas. All right, so what I would suggest is if you have a dark piece, okay, you use white color pencil. I know that people are going to go like this. It doesn't work. Patience, okay? Everything for this project is a little bit of patience. If you draw a couple of times, it will actually come out. Not perfect, but you'll be able to see where things are, okay? Same thing with your fabric. Take pencil, lightly draw a couple of times, the line will come out. Do not use marker, okay? It is messy and it's sloppy, okay? Also, I don't want to see marker or pencil or crayon, whatever it is that you draw with, I don't want to see on your project, okay? This is not a let's draw on fabric. This is a I'm sewing this, and all I want to see is fabric and stitches, okay? There is no gluing on this project, so if you want it on, you have to sew it on, okay? If you want a line there, you're either sewing on another piece of fabric or you're going to use one of the stitches and you'll sew in that line, okay? I'm trying to think of anything else. It's a lot of fun, this project. Sewing is an awesome skill that you will use, okay? The other day my daughter had like a cut in her pants and she didn't want to give them up, so I was like, all right, I'll just sew it. So I just kind of sewed it and she's good. She ran away and she was happy with it, okay? Remember, the needle doesn't leave here. You want to make sure, excuse me, you have a double knot at the one end, okay? And you only have, let me show you again. This is one knot, okay? This is not a knot, and I kind of did this. See how it's kind of in the middle? Woo, woo, woo. Okay, all I did was took this, tied it, and that's my knot, okay? You probably want this side, by the way, to be about the size of your pinky. It's a little too long. Okay? Everything stays in your bag. When you're done with this whole project, okay, what you'll do is you'll give me the bag with your project inside, all right, and the needle inside. And then you'll hand in with your other stuff as well. Let's see, the practice will be in here too, as well as the write-up. So that will be